Hello everyone, welcome back to Quicks14Blog, Quicks14's blog, Quicks14 here, also known as Xandris, coming up with you with another old school raid, this time of Mount Hyjal's Pass, in Caverns of Time, also known as Caverns of Time 3. It's an old 25-man instance that was brought out during the Burning Crusade. I never got a chance to actually play this when it originally came out, and a lot of people, other people haven't, and it's not run too much anymore, at least not on our servers, so I thought this would be a lot of fun, and it actually was. As a big fan of Warcraft 3, and one who's played it quite a few times, this was a lot of fun to go through and actually see. So, all I'm showing you is each of the bosses. Strictly speaking, for people who have never been in Mount Hyjal before, this is a pure defense stratagem here. You're starting in a human encampment, trying to defend it, trying to keep Jaina alive, and then you'll go to the orc encampment and do the same thing there, but keep Thrall alive, and then finally you go over the Night Elf, and that's when you fight Archimonde himself. This Lich, probably the biggest thing is his Death and Decay. These guys got old school Warcraft 3 abilities. Anyone who's ever played Warcraft 3 will recognize their abilities pretty easily. This Lich has, of course, his Frost Nova. He has, of course, Death and Decay. He has, I believe, Death Coil as well. So definitely things to watch out for. Death and Decay is your biggest issue, even for 80s. Some of our people got killed pretty quick because they didn't get out of it quick enough. Having enough healers will be fine. Now we're doing this with about 14 people at the moment. We actually go down to 13 because we lose someone. Couple of pugs, some friend pugs, and the rest is all guildies. 2 at this moment in time, 2 are level 70-ish and higher, and then finally at the end we have 1 level 70-ish and higher. Really, really cool. Yeah, we're doing this with 14 people. So obviously if you can get a whole 25 group of 80s, you're going to go through this like quick. So, the Lich, of course, is the first one. How it works is you have like a certain amount of waves. After the waves, then you have a boss, and then you get another group of waves, and you pretty much have a break between each wave. You have to talk to Jaina or Thrall if you're in the other encampment in order to start up the next wave. So, as you can see, I also had it in the Dungeon Finder. So here we are, second boss. This is a Dreadlord boss. He does Infernals, which brings down Infernals. They of course have a small stun once they land, and of course they land usually around Jaina, so we usually try to have people around her because he likes to drop them around there. So the Infernals aren't too much of a big deal. They're not too difficult, honestly. You just gotta watch there. Obviously they have an immolation. It does damage to anyone who's near them, so healers need to be aware of that. We are 3 healing this, actually. Myself, we have a priest, and I believe another priest healing, yes, that we actually were able to pug with. So we were very fortunate to have Post, one of our raid leaders, in here who's done this before and remembered most of the fight and helped us get a little coordinated, especially for these Infernals and such. There's a lot of information out on Mount Hyjal, of course. There's, of course, the actual videos and things like that, but it's nowhere near as complicated as... And then he goes down. So, there you go. If you have level 70s, some nice group here. Obviously, with the new disenchant option, it gives a good reason to go run these old stuff, if nothing else, to get some easy mats, high level mats, for level 70-ish equipment. The actual instance is, of course, 70 to 72 is the official rating. So now we're in the orc encampment. This is our first one. This is Khazrgal. He was not in Warcraft 3, unless you played the scenario I made, which modified and actually added him. He's kind of a Dreadlord hybrid. You'll see him come in here. He has a couple abilities that need to be taken care of, but the tank shouldn't have too much difficulty taking him out. Thrall is a big help, actually, because Thrall does a lot of damage as well. Of course, Thrall can take a lot too, but he will die. He has some sort of feedback ability with low mana, so it's something to watch out for as well. This was a lot of fun. We spent a lot of time in here. We actually did wipe on him. No, not this one, but the next one once. And we wiped on Archimond at least once as well. Which, you know, happens. So, even if you have a good group, you know, it could still happen, especially on Archimond, because his is a little tricky. A lot of these fights were tricky. Burning Crusade, Blizzard kind of pushed the limits of what they could try to do, and instead of making them straightforward fights and having phases, they did tricks in order to defeat them. You had to do a certain way, a certain thing in order to actually beat them. It was an interesting experiment. I don't think it worked out too well, but they took a lot out of it in the raid fights. Of course, Nax being a prime example of the good and the bad they took out of it. Of course, the most notorious thing ever in Burning Crusade raids in general is fear. Fear is probably the worst. There was so much of it. It was annoying. So that's Khazregal. Not too bad once you have things set up. You do get low on mana, like I said, you get some sort of feedback ability, so you want to back off from everybody else, otherwise you'll explode and you'll do damage to your friends around you, as well as yourself. So healers, mages, you know, things in particular that run out of mana quickly once they're getting going, needs to watch out for that. Now, of course, as you can kind of see here, we are running at 13 people because we did lose one pug. He got DC'd and never came back, so unfortunately, that's unfortunate. But it does happen. He did get a nice piece of gear out of it for a level 72, so that was cool. So, next is Axgar. He's a pit lord, and he can be a pain. He, of course, has a really big cleave in front of him. He does Reign of Chaos, which is basically a bunch of infernals. We didn't really see any here, so I don't know if they took that out or it didn't apply or what happened, but he, of course, does has a Stomp ability, which can interrupt casting and, of course, cause you to lose casting in school, and I believe he also has a Fear-ish or something like that. I don't recall off the top of my head. No, I think I'm thinking of Archimond coming up here. So, the nice thing about this is this is a lot of lore. Oh, yes. The Lesser Doom Guard that you saw there, he has a Doom ability. If you get marked with Doom, you're dead. It just counts down until you're dead. There's not much you can do about it. Once it goes off, you die, and a Lesser Doom Guard is spawned. So this is kind of a race. Of course, this was a little more difficult with only 13 of us. We got lucky that a lot of our healers did not get Doom on them first. And like I said, the first time we did wipe, he was down to about 350k, and we did wipe because of a couple things, mainly the silences and losing of the tank early and some other things like that. So you basically have an off tank or someone who has plate armor to gather those extra Doom Guards and handle them. And once you have Doom, the best you can do is head towards that off tank. So when you die and the Lesser Doom Guard spawns, the off tank can just pick it right up. Is pretty much what we did. And there he's down. So and that does it for that. Then you head up to that, to the next one. He dropped a lot of stuff. He's a big dropper. And of course you have Archimond himself. Archimond's pretty interesting. First and foremost, he has, I kind of started this a little late, he has a few abilities. Range is not your friend on Archimond. Of course he has these flames, which is a stacking damage buff, which hurts a lot, so you don't want to stand on him. He does a fear, which will usually drive you right into the flames, so healers need to be aware. There's curses that he puts around, which are dots, which hurt quite a bit, so they need to be decursed as much as possible. And then on top of all that, he'll throw everybody high up into the air, and you have to use this trinket you get from Tyrande Whisperin in almost at the last second in order to keep yourself alive. The biggest danger is getting too far away. Of course, it knocks you up in the air and pushes you back, so it's quite a ways. The fear is a pain because it drives you usually right through the flames. So if you know the fear is coming, or you have an idea the fear is coming, stacking hots up on people is usually a good idea, especially the main tank. People just need to be aware where they're at, try to stand between it all, and not a big deal. Once, see, there's the thing, so I hit my trinket. I did it a little early, so I did take a little damage, but nothing I can't handle. Once you've got that done and he's down to a certain amount of health, you really can't kill him. It goes ahead and goes through this thing here. You can see he's trying to kill everything, and he doesn't work, and he dies. So that's pretty much Mount Hyjal. It's a lot of fun. We had a blast doing it. I expect anyone who hasn't, go try it out, check it out. It's a lot of fun. Great achievement too. So yeah, look at that achievements, man. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for right now. More coming up as usual. So please rate, comment, and subscribe, and of course spread the word. I've got add-on specials for you as well. So please check them out.